Good evening, everyone. This is the finale for the International Children's Month Global Day of Action, Children's Global Wave of Love, World Peace and Prayer Day, and we have been contributing to World Unity Week. I have been your host, Heidi Little. I am the co founder and director of International Children's Month and the founder of the Center for Advancement in Social Emotional Learning. I am a singer songwriter and a children's advocate and activist for a better world. And I have been joined today by some outstanding people, beginning with Chief Looking Horse this morning, Grandmother Crossbear, Ben Bowler, Rick Olfick's been here, Monica Willard with Nuclear Disarmament. We have had so many beautiful panels, and they are all available to you from now into perpetuity. My co-host, Raheen Fatima, is 13 years old and has been up with me for the last 12 hours of live streaming. It is the other side of the world for her and very early in the morning, and she's been up all night. So we are kicking off this finale here with a new friend. Kurt Kroger is joining us. We've got Grandmother Shannon Crossbear hanging out in the finale with us here. She's going to take us out in a prayer. And our new friend and teammate, Ambassador International Children's Month, Mohammed. So, Raheen, what have you got to say about our day in our finale?
Yeah, sure. So I want to say something very nice. I mean, I cannot imagine if it wasn't for this to stay up that long. Because I mean, I would say I'd fall asleep or get distracted, start watching stand-up comedy or something. I would do that, okay? But I think it was the first time that I felt, oh my God, I am so like on. And I am so into this because I did not want to go to the break because I designated myself a 3-hour break. And I'm like, but I want to attend this, but I want to go to this. So it was amazing. I have been up for the past 20 hours. Anything I say that you feel like sounds wrong, it definitely does. It sounds right in my head at this point. And we have been up since 12 hours, Heidi as well, but it's correct time for her. For me, it was 6 evening time yesterday. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're on 6:20 right now. So beautiful, people. It was an amazing journey. And I would not change it for the world because of this. In the first time in I think like 2 years, I got to see the sunrise, and it's like a beautiful symphony, And it was described as that in one of my books that I read, The Phantom Toll Booth, and it's like a very divine conductor is conducting that symphony. It literally is changing colors, and the sun's coming up. And at this point in time, the whole house is sort of like golden and yellowish because it's just that beautiful time of the day. So thank you so much, everybody that joined us in the journey. I personally hosted 4 panels, was on 6 of them, and the rest I watched in the waiting room and stuff. So lovely to be here and part of this journey. 1 year has been completed. Last year I hosted as well. So it's been a friend anniversary for me and Heidi. So yeah.
This is beautiful. You're proof of the pudding. You are the one that proves time flies when you're having fun. And you always have fun when you get to be able to share the love and light that you are so much with so many people. What a gift, just like Muhammad is. And Shannon Crossbear and this Heidi, what a hostess. She's the hostess with the mostest.
Oh, thanks, Kurt.
Yeah.
Yay. Kurt, tell us, my friend, how do we build a world that works for all? Bring it home for us, brother.
Well, girl, that's why we designed something called the Peace Lab. Okay. The Peace Lab is something that is like a laboratory, which we experiment and we research and we develop and all this stuff. But it's also very much like a labyrinth. And it's sort of designed after the Chartres Labyrinth. It's at the very beginning of the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Chartres, France. It was designed to make people feel like they were walking in the Holy Land. Imagine being where Moses was,
Mhm.
where Jesus was and where Muhammad was raised. Just imagine what an experience. And then you get to go into the cathedral after you walk this labyrinth. It's one path in and one path out. So we explore the missing link or the philosopher's stone that will make peace come alive and we can all thrive. It's in every aspect of life. There's a peacemaker meditation.
Mhm.
I would love to be able to share this because it's a psychosomatic spiritual practice, but it brings in what is called intentions, and intentions are so powerful. The intention is, and if you will, sit leaning forward just slightly with your hands out in front of you, like as if you had a tray there. And then as we come back, leaning back, bring our hands toward our heart and touch our heart as we say, peace in everything, everything with peace. And we just rock back and forth like we're in front of the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem. Peace with in everything, everything with peace. Peace in everything, everything with peace. And this rocking motion, as we repeat, peace in everything inside you is everything peaceful and everything with peace. And it brings that intention throughout your day. And the beautiful thing, you can do it in Urdu, you can do it in Sanskrit, you can do it in Lakota, you can do it in any language. The important thing is that you basically say the meaning behind it. And in our day, if you get upset, you can just say, ouch. And you can just do this simple practice. You say, ouch, so that people will allow you to take a pause of peace in everything, everything with peace. And that breath calms your mind down, which calms the heart rate down, which calms the breathing down, and so on. I could go on and on.
Raheem, don't fall asleep or over. I'm feeling it
No.
too. I'm like, woo.
If
Okay.
anybody wants to be able to have a write-up about that, just connect with me in successsystemsinternational.net and I'll just ask for it. I will send you a PDF file. You can look on YouTube for the Peacemaker meditation. There's a 15-minute description
Yeah.
and exhibition like this
Oh, that's
on
great.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So GFI, it's on Peak Performers prompters.
Okay. I love it. Can we
Yeah.
put everybody here that's on the panel right now on TV? Is everybody good with going on television? Kurt, can I put you on television and then you can just show everybody like what we
Sure.
just did? Shannon, you good? Mohammed,
Yep.
your parents will have to send me a release. Raheen, I already have one for you. Okay. Okay, so perfect.
Yeah.
So the
And
peace. Hold on. I got a question. The Peace Lab lives somewhere for real? Like you built it at your house or in a community park or where? What's happening with that?
It's we're all doing this through the internet. So we have people
Oh,
on
okay.
all pretty much all the continents that are getting involved because the way that peace happens is to each and every person. Because imagine if there was peace all over the world and you didn't have peace. Doesn't matter. You're the one that's upset. You're the one that's like I was on a hijacked airplane. They had automatic weapons, hand grenades, and plastic explosives. And I was peaceful.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
inshallah.
Yep, you got it. You
Yeah.
said it. You brought it home. There
Yeah.
it is. The theme of the entire day. Every expert, every regular day hero, every person we heard from agrees on the same thing. It starts in us and goes out to the world. And the average person needs to hear it 7 to 14 times. So I figure we got at least another year to talk the same talk and then it'll pop. That's what I'm figuring.
And different people talking the same talk. That's
Exactly.
important too, because some people can hear it verbally from another person one way as opposed to another way.
It's true.
Me, I've been involved with
And
interfaith work forever. It's so beautiful. And my boys have both had a vision quest
yeah,
and so on. And
Yeah.
life is just magical.
I love it. Life is magical. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Shannon, can you tell
That
us the
was
story
amazing.
about the one relative, please? Do you remember the story about the one? Can you recall it right now?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Of
Here
course
we go.
I know that story.
Thank you.
So, so first of all, for those that are just tuning in or actually on live, Nikishna Wabagonis, Anin Indue Maganak. I just wanted to tell you who I am and to greet you as relatives. My name is Shannon Crossbear. I'm coming to you from the homelands of the Ojibwe people on the shores of Lake Superior in northern Minnesota in the USA. Only a short hop and skip across the ditch to grandmother country in Canada. And our homelands are all within both of those countries. So I wanted to, this is a story that I was told and that I always remember when I think about how we're moving into a we society and what that means. And so this story took place in a village a long time ago. And in this village, it was once a very beautiful, thriving village. But over time, something had happened and it wasn't so happy anymore. And like the children were leaving, like as soon as they could get out of there, they were out of that village. They were going someplace else, you know? And there was a lot of disrespect. There was disrespect of the elders in the village. And they used to have these thriving gardens, but even the gardens were not looking good. Like the food it just wasn't attractive. It wasn't as healthy. The soil was having such a hard time. Everything was not going well. And they had, some of the leaders in the community and, trying to decide what they could do and whose responsibility it was and who could fix it and all that kind of stuff. And they got together and they had meetings and they talked about it a lot. They talked about it all the time. And they came up with different kind of things and they tried them and none of them worked. They kept trying different things and trying different things and none of them worked. And so they were pretty discouraged and it was getting like really bad. And it was not a good place to live and people's hearts were really down to the ground. And so what happened was that they got together yet again and they were talking, what are we going to do? We're just about at the end of all this. We don't know what to do. And they remembered that there was one person that lived out kind of far away from the village. She was a medicine woman and she had moved out of the village quite some time ago and she lived in the woods and nobody had really kind of seen her too much, but they knew she was still out there because occasionally she'd come into the village. So they determined that that was the only person they really hadn't gone to for advice. And she was very wise and she had done things for them in the past. And so that was kind of their last hope. And so they decided that they were going to send a few people to go talk to Good Earth Woman. That was her name, Good Earth Woman. And so they decided that they were going to go and they said, okay, well, Growing Flower, we're going to send you. We're going to send the one whose voice we hear. And we're going to send Granddaughter of the Moon. You three will go and talk to Good Earth Woman. And so they thought about that. And so in the way that it was to be respectful, if you're going to ask something from someone, then you want to give something to someone because that's the law of nature. It's reciprocity. It's in and out, just as Kurt said, peace in, peace out, right? So they decided they were going to bring her, and it was kind of the tradition to bring something good to eat or something that the elder could use. And so they made some things together, got some nice little gifts together, some tea and some other things that they thought maybe Good Earth Woman might be able to need. And they were excited because they thought finally, maybe like she's a really strong medicine woman. So maybe she has the medicine we need to be able to recover here. So off they went that day and they got to they just had a good time on the journey. You know, it was nice to be out again in the woods, and they had kind of got stuck in the village, and now they were walking through the woods and noticing the diversity of the woods and how important that made it healthy. And so they were learning just along the way, and they got to Good Earth's woman's house, and they were kind of surprised because she didn't seem surprised to see them. But, you know, she invited them in and she had them sit down, and she said, well, you know, they just visited first. They gave her the gifts and then they just visited. And because you don't like to get right to it, you want to get permission from someone, right? And so they waited until Good Earth Woman said, well, I'm really glad to see all of you, but I know that you came here for a reason. So that was giving them permission. And so then they started and they said, well, we really came here, and they described what was happening in their village and everything that they had tried. And, you know, and they said, we don't know what to do. You're our last resort. And Good Earth Woman kind of thought on it for a little while. And she said, took a little sip of tea and thought a little more. And then she said, I know what you mean. That's why I moved out here, because it was so hurtful to see what was happening that my heart couldn't take it anymore. And so I had to move away. But I'm so glad that you came to see me. I'm so happy that you came, and it made my heart feel good. And I'm so sorry that, you know, I don't have the answer for you. So they were disappointed, but they had such a good time with her that they determined that they were going to come back and visit again. And so they got up, and just as they were leaving, Good Earth Woman said something. She said, you know, I don't have the answer. She said, but there is one among you. And they said, well, who is it? Who is it? I can't tell you, but there is one among you. And so off they went, and they had kind of two feelings. They were disappointed because they didn't know who it was, and they were going to have to go back to the village. And when they got back to the village, everybody came. Who is it? What did she say? You know? And they said, well, she didn't tell us, but she said the strangest thing as we were leaving. She said, there is one among us. And everybody was like, well, who is it? And they said, well, we don't know. She didn't tell us. So everybody kind of left that day, and, you know, left that evening, went back to their own lodges. And as Growing Flower was going back, she was walking, and she thought she was going to figure this out, right? So she thought to herself, I know who it is. I don't know why I didn't see it before. It's the one whose voice we hear. That's the one. Because his voice he tells us all the time. And it's got to be him. And then she thought a little more, and she thought, but on the other hand, you know, he can be kind of noisy sometimes. And we hear him, but sometimes it hurts our ears to hear him. So it can't be him. But on the off chance that it is him, Growing Flower determined that she was going to treat the one whose voice we hear, with extraordinary respect. And so as she went out the next morning, and she saw Morningstar, and she thought, it's Morningstar. Of course it's Morningstar. She is up there. She is our guiding star. This is the one. I mean, she's at the beginning of everything. She's the one that can give us the answer. But on the other hand, she's got those kind of sharp, pointy parts to her. And, you know, that's so probably not. But on the off chance that it was Morningstar, Growing Flower determined she was going to treat her with extraordinary respect. And as she went through her day, she saw Proud when she dances. She thought about healing dances. She thought, Proud when she dances, she's the healer. She knows all that. She's a jingle dress dancer. She knows those sacred dances. It's her. But on the other hand, that proud part could get in the way. So, but on the off chance, she treated proud when she dances with extraordinary respect. And as the days went by, she both saw and eliminated everybody in her village. But she didn't want to make any mistakes about the one that was going to make the difference. So she really treated people with extraordinary respect. And when she had dismissed them all as the possibility, and she went home that night, and as she was getting ready to rest, she thought to herself of everybody she had been through. And she said, I've been through everybody except me. What if I'm the one? I can't be the one. But what if I am the one? And with that, she determined she was going to treat herself with extraordinary respect. And the same thing was happening with every one of the people that heard that message. They were looking at each other, and the village changed, and they don't really even know when it changed. But one day they looked up, and there was like, people treated each other with extraordinary respect, and the gardens were thriving, and the young people were coming back. And one day, Good Earth Woman came to visit, and they were all glad to see her. And the growing flower went up and said, oh, Good Earth Woman, we're so glad to see you. But we never did figure out. Good Earth Woman said, I see you found the one. And that was the story of Good Earth Woman and the one.
Thank you. That is my favorite story I've ever heard, and it remains my favorite story I have ever heard. And I don't think anything else needs to ever be said.
That was such a great story, and I loved it.
This one.
Thanks, Mohammed. I'm glad you liked it.
You're welcome. I was so interested. I was eating my little bit of chocolate here, so I get my energy. So I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. Because I've never heard these types of stories. Because from where I am, there are either fictional stories or very weird books about other subjects that I don't have interest in. But I've never heard a story so spiritual and so wise, and especially from an Irish grandma.
An Irish Ojibwe grandma. I know.
Irish
And
Ojibwe,
sitting
right?
around it, imagine sitting around a campfire and it's nice and cold. It's so cold that your backside is frozen and your front side is hot. And you feel like you want to be on a rotisserie. But there's somebody that is telling you a story like this, or like the tin-headed monster, and so on and so forth. And the beauty of stories is a person who's like 5 years old can hear that story and they make up the images in their mind that they can see. Whereas what you see on TV or in the movies is what an adult sees from reading those same stories. And an adult has such a different vision. So you never, ever get people freaked out having bad dreams when you hear the magical stories around a campfire. There's a book called 7 Arrows. It's by Hemahot Storm. And in the first 30 pages, it describes the symbols that are in each of the stories, from the north to the east to the colors and so on. It's magical. And similar kinds of stories as Shannon just shared with us. It's so beautiful.
I have a story wagon, Kurt.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a link to 2-page stories, 1 to 2 page stories that are all about character development, and they're magical. Yeah. Yes, Heidi.
So we have to put the children to bed now.
Yes.
And it's International Children's Month, and they've stayed up way past their bedtime. And I am so appreciative of the energy, the good vibration, the heart they brought into the circle, and all that is here with us. Raheen, round of applause, my love. Round of applause. Mohammed, welcome to the crew, my friend.
Round of
Thank
applause.
you. I love today. And as always, I will always cherish this moment in here and probably in here. Maybe it's going to be in my blood too.
I hope
So,
it'll-
I hope everything is fine. Hope you guys continue. And if there are any other events, invite me, please.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like
I got your email, and I'm gonna keep annoying you. So once I've got a hold of your email, never you're going anywhere unless you put me in a block list or something.
oh, you guys.
Mohammed, if you want to give me your email, we can connect too that way because I'm totally open for dialogue. And actually, Raheen has been on a program on Humanity Rising that the Peace Lab designed. It was a whole week on Humanity Rising's platform.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and Raheen was on one of those days. We had Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton. We've been producing some really great programs.
Oh, I'm
I'd
in.
love to be able to share that kind of thing with
I'm
anytime.
in, and let's put some on TV and let's do some good things. So, moving forward, we have the 11 Days of Global Unity coming up in September and the International Day of Peace. So that we can all get together again on. We have social emotional learning and cultural creatives and omnipresent media on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and Apple TV OS. And then we can go out to Netflix whenever we like, as long as our quality is high. So, so all of these things are possibilities, and we can continue to collaborate and to continue to create together. And Kurt, I feel the need to tell you I'm a singer-songwriter, and that's my main. I never told anybody this all day, but my main gift here is singing to you all into peace and love, and that's what I do best. So I also have the Center for Advancement in Social Emotional Learning. So we do self-love and education. So we're doing that also. But all of it aside, and love and light all around, and everything and everyone that has come to this day that we have touched in any way, many blessings of grace and beauty to you all. And may this beautiful earth be walked on with footsteps of light and love by all of us. And may we continue to support and move forward in a good way as love in action. Grandmother Shannon Crossbear, would you like to finish us out in a prayer?
Sure. I'm gonna speak in my language, and then I'll speak in English. So,
Here we go. Last minute, kiddos. Here we go. Here we go.
Chimigwech Mendido no Commismish no Mish Beanav and Gindamas Wabagonis. I ask the grandmothers and grandfathers to look down upon their granddaughter, Wabagonis, and to help me to speak in a good way. I thank you for this day, Creator, grandmothers, grandfathers, the ancestors that came before us that did what they needed to do to allow us to be in this moment together, and for all the things that they brought before us. I just want to thank this beautiful world that we live in, and for all of our nations, our tree nations, our winged ones, our swimmers, our crawlers, for the air that we breathe, for the water that we drink, for the food that we eat, for all of life that is around us. We were given a day. We started out this day with prayer and with wise words from an elder and a bundle carrier and the sacred pipe keeper. And he entered with us in this day and told us about how to live in a good way and what he was doing to bring peace about on this earth. We thank all the sun dancers that were dancing today so that they could sacrifice for the people, so that we could be in this time where we have peace. We thank you for the children that are coming in, and we ask you to keep us strong so that we can do what we need to do for the children, for this generation and for the generations to come. And remember that our decisions and the things that we do will affect those 7 generations. We thank you for this young generation that spent their time with us today, and we ask for their protection and for good health and for happiness for them and for their families and loved ones. So we go into this day gifting the world with International Children's Month and all the platforms that have happened over the last 9 years, that we gift to the world, that they can go and take those platforms and learn and not just talk about becoming a world of we, but actually becoming the world of we, that we have our imagination and we're here, we're now, and this is happening. So Chimi Gwech Mandito Nokomis for allowing me to be on this earth walk at this time. Thanks for listening.
Matakweasan, all our relations.
Mitakyasan.
Aho and many blessings. Long live love. Thank you all for being
For
here.
all the people who are deaf, we get to clap for you being here.
Thank you. Yay. Much love. All right, everybody. See you next year. Love and light all
Adios.
around.
Salam alaikum.
Love and light all around. InternationalChildren'sMonth.com and International Children's World is yours. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.
I appreciate this, and yeah. See ya.
Go to bed. Go to bed, Mohammed. Go to sleep.
Thanks, Raheem. I love you.
Thank you.
Go to sleep, Raheen.